Hey all, we're at Charlotte in the crappy Xfinity car, which I don't think I can really call that at these mile-and-a-half tracks because we're killing it. It's just as fast as my E5 Xfinity Charlotte car. In fact, I got it a little bit faster. It's the new. We started off, I think I was 29.770 as my fastest lap here, and yep, non-draft, leading half a lap ahead of everybody, or full straightaway ahead of everybody. We hit a 29.540. See, those are the ones that are important to me. If I'm in a line of cars and I'm tailing Charlie, I'm gonna have a fast lap anyway. But if I'm out front with my nose in the wind and I put a lap down like that, that's cool. The other good thing is we picked up about 4 laps of sub 30.0 times. So we started off with about 10, and last time I had, last restart, I did 14 before I hit a 30.0. Now we're in traffic here, but before we got into traffic, our slowest laps were in the 30.4s, which is right about where it needs to be. I prefer 30.2s, but Charlotte's a weird track. Turns 1 and 2 are, I can't say they're easy, but they're fairly straightforward. 3 and 4 here, I think of it as the roller coaster. And I'll talk you through it if we can. All running laps. See here, the fast line is, you let it drift up a little bit, but again, keep the left side tires in the white. Well, we're not going to get a clear shot at it, but basically, it starts up here, and then you come down a hill, and then you're in the valley, and then you go back up onto the straightaway. So it's like you're coming down, up, down, kind of roller coaster. When I'm by myself here, you can see a little bit better. And I know which track this is based on, which old track this is based on, and I hated it. They fixed it though. I enter about mid, and then I yank it all the way. I entered a little too fast on the old tires. And if I hit it right, you'll see you really see the elevation changes. And that confuses a lot of people. Especially when you got lap traffic. Let's see if I can do it here. Okay, so we go up in here and let off the gas, go down all the way to the white line. See, now we came down off the hill. Now we're down on the bottom. They're up there, right? And then we go up. It spits you out, and you aim it towards the flag stand. 30.4. Look at that. Wow. Now, we're going to pit here, and we should be able to make it to the end. But just a note, I should have been able to make it to lap 46 on fuel. But probably because we got faster, I lost some laps. Let's see, we got 11 laps of fuel. We're coming around again. So 10, 11 laps. So now we're at lap, say, 50. So that's 2 laps. 51 or 50 because it's just under 10, right? So that's why I'm very cautious about gas mileage. The faster you go, the more gas you use. The more you're on the gas, the more gas you use. And I like to be on the gas. Here, wade our way through. A little loose, but we got 9 laps to go, and we're all the way on the bottom. You should get loose being all the way on the bottom down there. But we handled it. Overall, what I did this race is I learned a lot at Kansas. I learned a lot at Dover in the truck, and this setup is like all my oval setups, mile and a half, all my banked oval setups. Experimenting with this new version of it. A lot of what it's in this setup is in the Dover setup. You know, because we got some good, you know, handling and so on and so forth. And this car is, I can't really tell if it's now a little bit loose because of the suspension not being 100%. Because it's not showing loose if you look at it. So I won't know until I get the car up to 100%. But I can put it almost anywhere, do almost anything with it. I'm on very old tires, but as you can see, putting this ninth place car a lap down. A little squirrely doing it, but we did it. And we're pulling away. So I'm very pleased. Charlotte is one of my absolute favorite tracks. Being able to, you know, get in here and like at Dover, see, I could have went all the way down to the white line, and it's a little loose, so it's kind of hard to keep that second line. So maybe a little contact, but look at it, everybody's pitting. We're in the lead. We got the third place car in front of us. I can put them a lap down. We got 5 laps in the tank still. We did have an early caution, like 3 or 4 laps in. Not my deal. Yeah, I did that. And I pitted, they didn't. So I guess I have about 5 laps more gas in the tank. It's good practice. You know, just you're running AI, you're running whatever. Keep your strategy the same. This is a day race. Day races and night races, the car will handle differently. Used to be the cars had more horsepower, but were tighter at night. Now I couldn't tell you anything about horsepower. I can't really feel a difference, but the cars tend to get looser at night. That doesn't really make too much sense to me. They say it has to do with the rubber that you lay down on the track, and of course, you know, Heat 5 basically represents that. See the dark parts of the track there? Right, my right side tires are running. Hard to see in the glare, but yeah. So that rubber coats the track and tends to make it 53 laps. I got 2 laps of gas left, but I know this track. I'm going to put it in 4th gear just to make sure I can make the 2 laps. Because that 1 lap can make a big difference, even though I'm not really worried. And you notice we got some excellent tire wear. We just ran, I don't know, whatever laps, 54 laps or 51 laps. And we got 19% on the right side tires. So let's see if we make it all the way to the pits. No. But it's not gone to 0 yet. Okay. It just went to 0. Wow, look at that. See? Gas mileage and me, just no real luck. It's not going to cost us anything. Just a point. Ooh. I didn't see my mark. I broke too late. Damn. Okay, we're gonna get a penalty. But that's our challenge, and you get to ride along with me for it. We're really good. I put this up 1/4. Take it down. And we'll start with this. Yep, 15-second penalty, so we'll have to chase some guys down. It's a good thing that we put most of the field lap down. And we got almost a full run to go for it, so yeah, it should be exciting. Nothing like digging a hole and having to get out of it. Oh, I missed my mark. I go for the Charlotte sign. some reason I didn't pick up on it. My bad. Happens. Okay, oh, we're still in the damn lead. Okay, one car. Where are we? They're right there. Okay. So we only have to catch one car. 3 seconds. I think we'll be good. We also have 5-lap pressure tires. So we gotta hustle through this traffic. Let's see if it's gonna be a problem. Whoever drives this car always is an AI. It's one of the 4 or 5 cars in the Xfinity series that it just always gets in your way. They have that in every series. There's 4 or 5 cars or trucks that just, don't get out of the way, purposely block you. Newman is one of them in Cup. No surprise there. Okay, so we are having another amazing day. Love these days because we have hard days, I'm sure, coming up. I don't have a great setup at all the tracks. But I love Charlotte, and I have no shame in telling you that the setup that I am running is based on a setup that I devised back in 1996 on NASCAR racing by Papyrus. And my base setup, essentially, this one is a little, the Dover setup is closer to it. And I'll tell you, where I made that setup, where I worked on it, was Rockingham. Rockingham was a mile-long oval, which I believe it had the same banking as most of these tracks, 24 degrees. And it was one of my favorite tracks to watch. For a long time, Richmond and Rockingham were the 2 R's. After Daytona, we're back in the lead. And always exciting racing, My guy was Dale Earnhardt, and if he didn't win the Daytona 500, 10-1 he'd win the next 2 races at Rockingham and Richmond. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, I love Rockingham because it's a short track, it's a mile track. But unlike Dover, it's a D-shaped oval, so it's not like Richmond. It's more like Charlotte, like a small Charlotte, and it's really, really fast. For those of you old enough to remember, that's where Steve Park won for DEI after Dale Sr. died. As you can see, pretty damn sporty. I love that. Got it loose. I slid, and instead of getting off the gas, I just tried to steer through it. Yeah, we're basically, we learned all that we learned. I'm loose all of a sudden. I can't really explain why. I just took that quarter pound out of the right rear, which, if anything, should have tightened me up a little bit. So it's either the 3rd stage blues, where the track can change, or it's the suspension. See, that was a sub 30 right there. Now it's loose. And it shouldn't be loose. And I've been a little snug in 3 and 4. And like near perfect off of 2 here. Little 1, maybe a little through the middle of the apex there. Has a tendency to be a little snug, which means that there's more speed in this setup. is always a cool thing. I look to find more speed. See, now I'm running 2 degrees, 2%, yeah, 2% loose. When I was either running tight or, like you saw last run, pretty much even. Got really loose at the end, but it wasn't showing loose. Now I'm showing loose. So it's got to be a track change. Or a track change combined with how it's affecting my 95% chassis setting. Or skill or ability, or whatever you want to call the car. But we're in no danger of losing this race. Unless we really screw up. Nah. Okay, everybody's pitting, I gotta pit. Okay, now should I make a change or not? So we're gonna go for a little more gas. Because last time we did 2, we were short. Not that I'm gonna make that much of a difference, but you never know. Let's take the tape down. So we're running 25. Tape can be a big factor at these tracks in both heat series, all the heat series. Let's just leave it alone. Let's see if it came back to us. Maybe the tape is enough to handle it. "37 laps to go." This is not a track that I set the gearing up to be in, you know, race gear, 3rd gear. By the time I get to 1, it just works out that way. Dover, maybe Richmond, Martinsville. Those tracks are tracks that you want to get up into race gear as quickly as possible without, you know, slowing yourself down too much. I know a lot of guys at Martinsville run 1 or 2 gears, but I'm telling you, the gear that you run makes a difference, especially in Heat 4, but I've noticed it in Heat 5 also. There's a bit of a bias I've noticed. If you set up, because I ran 4th gear setups in the beginning when I ran this, because we never had a choice of 1st, 2nd, 3rd gear, or 4th gear. We only had the rear end. You could change the rear end, but change all the gears. So you either change all the gears or you change none of the gears. So Heat is the first series that I've run where, oops, that's a little loose. Gotta watch that. The first series that I've run where you can change all 4 gears. Now typically, NASCAR only used to allow that at road courses. And, you know, because, you know, you go to different types of road courses, sometimes you just can't use the same gearing. It's very difficult, especially years ago when, you know, NASCAR drivers, you know, some of the best race car drivers in the world, but they weren't great on road courses for the most part. You had a group of guys that were great everywhere, you know, like Earnhardt, and then you had you know, so they could adapt and that didn't affect them, even though he didn't win a lot on road courses. You know, he was always up front. And then you had guys that, like, you know, they were running top 5 the whole year and they get to Sonoma and then they're running in the 20s, you know. And so they used to let guys pick your gearing. But never on the ovals. I mean, not in the modern era that I know of. It's, usually they ran your Richmond Super T10 transmission. That was the main transmission, and in the 90s they got, I forget what the other one's called, but it was the modular transmission where you didn't need to hit the clutch to shift down. And that's what they started using at road courses. And it had, you could change the gears, so quick change gears kind of thing, pretty easily. And that increased, or that helped the road racing in NASCAR tremendously. The Jericho transmission, basically, modular. clutchless. But most teams still use the Richmond Super T10 on everywhere else, because that's like what the drivers were used to. They like the feel and so on and so forth. And even if you ran the Jericho, you had to run whatever the gearing NASCAR specified in the transmission. You just had a choice typically of 2 rear end ratios, a heavier one and a lighter one. The heavier one got you more, you know, acceleration off the turns, but like at a short track, you could also wear the tires more, you know, burn the rear tires up a little more. And then you had the higher one for, you know, a little less of that and a little more gas mileage. Or like at the short tracks, I mean, in the 80s and 90s, 2000s, even to before, not too long before the next gen car, guys, you could not hit the accelerator full out in at Richmond. You're basically, especially on the front stretch, you were basically feathering it the whole way down the front stretch after like 10 laps. And so if you can imagine, you know, running your high horsepower muscle car in the rain all the time, but on, you know, regular tires, not all weather tires, and how much you had to be off the gas and ginger with it, you know, and that's short track racing. And it was amazing to me to find that out after watching a few years of, like, you know, Earnhardt and Wallace, Earnhardt and Martin, Earnhardt and Jarrett go side by side at tracks like Richmond and Bristol and such, and like, and they can't get on the gas. See how hard it is to not hit the gas fully when you're racing something? And that's why you see a lot of times, like, either guy, inside or outside, you know, they just like, they screw up and they hit the gas too hard and they spin out, you know, and that's short track racing. Yeah, this thing is fully in loose mode. I just did that. But I'm not slow, man. Maybe it has to do with the sun's going down, if you notice. It does that thing where, you know, as it gets towards night, like in the Coke 600, it gets looser. And maybe that's what it's simulating here. But it's not showing loose. I mean, 1%, but it's not 1% loose. It's feeling like 6 or 7% loose for this track. But it's okay, we got it under control. We got 23 laps, 22, coming to 22 to go. So all we gotta do is hold on, keep our noses clean. We got a halfway decent lead. So you gotta know how to do that. And how you do that, it's practice. I didn't get right down on them because a lot of these cars have been sliding mid when they enter. And at Charlotte here, for some reason, it's very hard to tell. I got a little wiggly off turn 2 there. I'm driving it so I put some heat in the right front. Make it a little harder to spin out. Yeah, it might slow me down a little bit, but if I wreck and lose the race because I wreck, it doesn't do me any good, does it? Never trust the game, I think, is the lesson here. Whether it be gas mileage or setup or tire wear or whatever. You know, always expect, you know, an asteroid to come out of nowhere and hit you. It makes you more prepared for when those things actually do happen. Or the thing that you never imagined could happen. I'm really loose now. I couldn't tell you why. It's gotta be the track. or a combination of track and chassis. I'm running so well, I forget I don't have a 100% car. This is wild. Up until this run when I got loose, as you saw the end of last one, I was running awesome laps for the tire wear and fuel run. I'm a little slower than that now. Sliding. He's blowing up. I got around him. Good. Probably going to be a caution though. Saw the smoke. Yeah, he's all off the pace. If somebody hits him, there'll be a caution. You might make it back. Happens sometimes. I think there's going to be a caution. I hear static in the game. Is the AI thinking? I couldn't even see if he fitted, but maybe he made it back. Yeah, somebody entered pit road there. Looking at the mini map, yep. No caution there. So I'm also, like in turn 3 and 4 right now, I'm also using the gas to tighten the car up. Huh? What do you mean? I'm hitting the gas in kind of a little bit of the wrong spot, like here, and letting it slide, and if you notice, the right front tire temp comes up. Might slide a little too much, but it helps that right front wear a little bit more. With the wheel cranked all the way over, and we hit it, see, not loose. Look at it, 277, 254. That's more like that, you know, and I wore the right front a little bit. We got 16 laps to go. So if we do that a few laps, we might be able to see it's well balanced. So when it gets loose, it has a, I think it just has a tendency in all my setups to just slide. You know, like both right side tires lose grip, not just the right rear. It happens to me, but it doesn't happen as often as what it's doing now. But when we do slide, we lose a little speed. If you watch the speedometer, I'm a couple miles an hour slower, and I could feel it. You know, I have a lot less security. And when I get down there, I gotta let it drift up. But that is the proper line for this track, if anybody was wondering. See, they go real high, but look at the tires. Look at the tire wear, the rubber in the track. Right side tires should be in that rubber. Do you see the rubber? Yeah. About here, but I like to run half a lane lower when I can. It's sliding up and not gripping, so I gotta take what I can get, but we're in 30.4s halfway through the run, so we're good. I really want to get that to 30.2s, so pretty much be unbeatable here. I like that. And what I mean by that is the ability to run a 30.2 on a clean lap all the way like 2 laps to go on fuel when your tires are at their worst. I'm just going through the motions here. Muscle memory. Okay, we got it 1% tight. It's a little less slidey, but see, we're still fast, 30.4. Down the gas a little early. if we make it tight, you gotta look at the tire time. So we make it tight. Like if we had a caution, I'm going to make it tight. If we had another full fuel run and get the tires, you know, worn like how they are now, then we're gonna start spinning off the turns, because you know, like the right front will start digging in, and then you're not gonna handle as well. So see, I'm loose. I'm a little slidey loose, but I can drive around it because the car is handling it so good. So it's like there's loose and there's loose. Basically, you know, wrecking loose is what you don't want, and that's when you get into, like when I got in this, I put the setup and I forgot to put the wedge up. I had the super low wedge, so I come out of the pits to practice. I just totally spin out, hit the wall off turn 2. Yeah, that's wrecking loose. Because everything was normal temp, except for the right rear was like, you know, 500 or whatever, 3 something. It's just wrong setting. Oh, look at this gaggle of cars here. This is a caution right now. I mean, we might have a late caution there. I can't really bowl through here. I gotta pick my way through here. I'm a little loose, so I don't want to be so aggressive in making some of the moves that you saw me make earlier. Although, we can still be aggressive in certain ways. I'm not going to slide it up towards the wall now as aggressively, because more than likely I'll end up hitting it, bouncing off, and causing a caution myself. I don't want to do that. That's 7 laps to go. Let's finish this baby out. Okay, a little over rotating there. See, it's showing we're wearing the right front. I'm really feeling like it's the suspension that is causing the irregularities, because it didn't feel like this the entire race. Oh, here's our caution. Okay, nobody's pitting. We got 9 cars on the lead lap. We're gonna have like 5 laps to go. We don't need any gas. And we're just gonna hang it out. Should I change anything? No, not enough laps. Let's see how many laps you have. As long as we got more than 3, we're good. Two laps. Oh, shit. Well, Mary. Okay, well, we got a good shot. We didn't hit anybody. Hey, well, that went really well. Just don't slide. No, we didn't. By the hair of our chin. We made that work. 1 more lap to go. Oh, that messed that up. So I realized, as loose as it is, I could have went that much further on the gas. Ah, well. We got it. Oh, another awesome day. It's a boring deal. That was the first stage. Yeah, we had a caution in the middle of the second stage, and the car was a little tight, but just handling awesome. And we did the same adjustments that we did at Dover. We just played with the air pressure. I took the wedge down 2 clicks after doing, you know, some tire pressure, and then I put it up, and you know, the tire pressure is almost identical to what I was running at Dover. I'll probably fine tune it, but again, you can't really fine tune unless you have a 100% car. Alright, here we go, last stage. You guys weren't with me at this part. We came in about 70 laps to go, so lap 130. See, but I've been doing this, you know, the whole race. Coming from the, you know, whatever 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever place. I like to do that. I like to practice that. You know, for 6 months straight, I came home at Daytona and ran Daytona Talladega and ran a 20-car, 20-lap race, started in the back. At 107% strength, AI strength, and made it work. Yep. Okay, here's a pit stop before we had the other caution. See, it's a little slidey, but that's like how it was at Dover in the beginning. At the beginning of a run, and then it would calm down. Here we go, 2 to go. 8th to 1st. In 1 lap, less than a lap. It's knowing what your car can do, and knowing, you know, how to wind it up so you got all the momentum going down the straightaway. That's all, and then knowing how to handle the inside. Yeah, I slid, but I handled it. That was close. Nailed another one. Definitely 300 grand. That's 300 grand we really needed. Okay, now we got a really good lead in Xfinity. 6 wins on the season. I noticed in, I think in Truck and Xfinity I got 6 wins apiece, but Cup, I have 10 wins in Cup. Cup, especially in Heat 4, was my weakest series because I didn't run as much in career mode and such, but learned a lot by running Heat 5 and in league racing and such, and definitely paying off. And getting faster and faster, which is really cool. And it's what you want to do. .29.5, that's a new record for here. You know, like a 29.2 or 3 in Heat 5. That was a 191 laps out of 200. But that record in Heat 5 is a draft lap. Yeah, it's, again, typically in a race, you can pick up about 2/10 over outside testing or practice even. And when you're in a online race, you know, you can pick up even more because of the draft. Draft is always active, no matter what you set it at. And those things don't change too much. We did some damage. Yeah, 77. Not bad. Still great. I try not to damage, especially this car, because, you know, it takes more time to fix. Uh-oh. Let's see what Brandon has to say. Brandon didn't mess me up. It was, I forget the other guy.
You've been really impressive these last few races.
Thank you, Brandon.
Work. Keep it up.
Black car, too. Okay, let's see what we got coming up next. We got the 600, so next time, we'll see if we'll do that tomorrow or the day after. I didn't feel too well today, but, you know I got a good setup for Charlotte, and it's only 200 laps, but 400 laps. Yeah. Gonna do 400, you know. We'll probably do the last 100 laps. There's 4 stages in the 600 mile race, so we'll probably do the whole 4th stage. Maybe a little less because we ran out of video in the last Cup race, so we got to manage that a little bit. But I like you to be there to see what I'm doing on the pit stop before the stage. You know, that's why I started, like with the others, I typically do the last pit stop to the end, you know, depending on the track and how much time it takes to do a lap. You know, I figured that out to be around, you know, 30 to 45 minutes, you know, closer to 30 if possible. I want to get the information out there, you know, kind of thing. And there's so much, you know, I know I repeat myself, but, you know, you hear it enough, it starts to percolate in your brain and make you better and faster, which is, you know, a goal. So thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, ask questions, whatever. We'll see you next time.